And welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox as we continue to follow some breaking news out of Tampa. A devastating scene in that region overnight. In Ybor City, 4 people are dead and 11 others hurt after a speeding driver lost control and plowed into a crowd of pedestrians. Police say it started as a reckless driver being tracked by their air unit and ended when that car crashed right into a popular bar along 7th Avenue. Fox 13's Regina Gonzalez live there at the scene this morning. Good morning to you, Regina. And it looks like it is still a very active scene.
It is, Christy. Good morning to you. That's right. It has been hours since this happened in the middle of the night at this point. But as you can see behind me, still a very active, much less heartbreaking scene. If you're familiar with Ybor City here in Tampa, very popular spot to go out, especially on a Friday night. Everyone was just out here walking, having fun, and then tragedy happened. Now, we could tell you that the establishment behind this City of Tampa police car, they've kind of blocked the scene, but the car crashed into a crowd of pedestrians before smashing into the front of a place called Bradley's on 7th, which is kind of a bar, nightclub. Again, very popular spot, especially on a Friday. Now,
Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So, man, this is crazy. Um, first, I want to just send my condolences to the families of the 4 people that were killed in this man. This is this act of just senselessness. Um, very selfish act. So I want to send my condolences to the families of those that have been killed, and also those that are injured right now in this crash. Man, look at this, man. This is crazy. And wow, wow. So, in the area of Tampa, where they say, people like to go out and, enjoy their night. This is on a Friday night, and people are out enjoying themselves, being social, out to eat, to grab a few drinks, just to have fun, and to all of a sudden, lose your life. This is one of those situations that are, it's unfortunate, and it's just for those who lost their lives, man, that they wasn't in control of anything in the situation. They was just minding their business and trying to enjoy their Friday night, and this unfortunate tragedy ended up happening. And wow, look at this, like look at this scene, like the car is busted up, this business is busted up, so people lost their lives, people was injured. This business is going to have to remodel and try to find a way to get themselves back into some normalcy. I'm not sure what that stain is like in the middle of the screen at the top, but it could be like a blood stain. But look at all the glass that's broken up, and look how badly that car is damaged in this wreck into this building. And for what they say, the car plowed into people, which I've seen videos this year of cars plowing into people, and it's never good because you have people who get broken bones and loss of life, and other injuries. And then for the people that's around who are seeing this, who may have nearly missed being hit, or just seeing people laid out like that, it's trauma there. So, man, this type of senselessness and selfishness has a lot of effect on people, and I definitely wish the driver would have took that into account. um, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like racing has something to do with this. Um, I think they were saying that their like the helicopter in the sky caught this driver speeding. But I'm gonna let the video play out so I can get a little bit more information, and then just try to give my reaction to it.
Tampa police in a press conference a few hours ago say this all began just after 12:30 this morning when their air unit spotted two cars racing on some local streets a couple of miles away.
See? Racing. The air units caught two vehicles racing. When are we going to realize that we shouldn't be street racing? We shouldn't be street racing at all. Street racing is a very dangerous thing. I've never been a speed demon to the point where I felt like I wanted to race. A lot of people pull up beside someone and then they rev their engines and stuff like that, and then a lot of people have pride to the point where they want to show, okay, well, my car is faster than yours, and this, that, and the third. But even I know of a situation here in NC that happened down in Fayetteville to where three high school students lost their lives. Three football players, man, with promising futures. They lost their lives to two sisters for street racing, and they went down a street which I heard is notorious for accidents, and one of the cars wrecked and three people lost their lives, and then the driver, which was one of the sisters, they were actually in the hospital, actually still fighting for their life. And I really don't have too many updates on that, but in this situation here, then this definitely seems like it could have been avoided, and man, this is just another one of those countless added to the list of senseless tragedies. I'm gonna get some more information here, and then we'll close this out.
Away from this area. One of them then merged onto the highway I-275 southbound, and TPD's air service began tracking it from above. It exited off a downtown interchange exit and then headed this way. That's when Florida Highway Patrol troopers got involved. They were basically the closest units. They tried a pit maneuver, but it was unsuccessful because of the driver's high speed. Troopers say they disengaged for safety reasons. And then moments later, investigators say the vehicle continued east into Ybor City here, speeding down busy 7th Avenue and right near North 15th Street where we're standing, lost control, slammed into a crowd and the front of Bradley's on 7th. And that's when witnesses like Howard Hopkins, who you're about to hear from, say chaos erupted and officers rushed to help.
I was right there about to sit down with the pizza, and it just happened. Tables went everywhere, chairs went everywhere, some bodies went everywhere. It was pretty bad.
Now, police say 4 people who were all over the age of 20 were killed, 3 here at the scene, 1 later at a local hospital. We know 11 others were injured. 1 is in critical condition. Tampa Police Chief Lee Burkaw called this a senseless tragedy and say both TPD and FHP are committed to getting justice for the victims and their families. Now, the driver within the last few hours has been identified as a 22-year-old man from Dade City. His name is Silas Sampson. We can tell you he's in custody this morning, and he's facing 4 counts of vehicular homicide with additional felony charges expected as this investigation continues. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Regina Gonzalez, thank you so much.
Okay, so the 4 young adults who lost their lives tragically here, all in their 20s. Man, they had so much life ahead of them, and I'm sure they never went out Friday thinking that they would lose their lives. They were downtown trying to enjoy themselves. Probably had a long week of maybe school or work, and just wanted to just to get out and about. And man, this doesn't make any sense, really, man. It's just terrible. And then the driver, they said, is 22 years old, so he wasn't too much older than the victims in this situation. And man, like, just to throw your life away, You know, I'm not sure if he was under the influence or not, cause they haven't said that. But man, you were racing, and then the air units look for any ground units in the area, so they gave pursuit, but then they said that they backed off when they seen that it was a danger, you know, to people who, you know, would be in this crowded area. And you know, at that point, you know, I understand you're trying to get away. You don't want to get arrested. You don't want to face the consequences of, you know, high speed and stuff like that. But man, look what happened. Look at the consequences of your actions. You killed 4 people and you injured, you know, multiple others. And you know, as the eyewitness was saying, tables flying, chairs flying, bodies flying. Like, you know, I can only imagine what that looks like. And like I said, I can only imagine the trauma that people are going to have, and you know, the heartbreak for these families who, you know, have to bury their young adults. You know, and these could be young adults who were doing, you know, things to try to help, you know, better their family. We don't know all, we don't know the identities of the victims or the backgrounds. Man, they could have families of their own. Like kids and stuff like that, you know, wives and stuff. This is just very, very unfortunate, and it's just, you know, I always just think, man, how many situations or how many stories and events like this do we have to have before people, it just starts clicking in their minds that you know, we don't need to let our actions affect others in a negative way, especially in a way that leads to injury and death. And and this is just very terrible. I'm gonna just let the video play just a little bit more, because I see it's a little bit more to this video, and I'm gonna come back with my closing commentary and wrap this up. It's just terrible, man.
For checking in with us here this morning. We appreciate it. And as you heard Regina say, we did hear from officials a bit earlier this morning at a press conference, and we do have that here for you on Live Now from Fox. Let's play it up.
This morning we had a tragic incident where at least 4 victims senselessly lost their lives and 11 others were injured as a result of a careless, reckless driver. As you would imagine, this is a complex investigation involving multiple agencies, and I will provide preliminary information about what we know right now. This morning, just around 12:30, our air service was in the area of Hanna in Nebraska, and they saw 2 vehicles that appeared to be racing going westbound on Hillsborough Avenue towards the interstate. They see one vehicle go on the interstate southbound on 275. The other vehicle breaks off. Our air service goes over the radio and asks if any units are in the area. They're following the vehicle, our air service, going south on 275. This vehicle exits in the downtown area, and at that point, our partners, FHP, and one of our units sees this vehicle in the area of Nebraska and Palm. At that point, 2 FHP units attempt a traffic stop on it, and the vehicle flees, and then they attempt a pit maneuver. After that, unfortunately, this vehicle went at a high rate of speed down 7th Avenue, and tragically, just west of 15th Street, or just east of 15th Street, hit over a dozen people. And at that location, we had 4 that were deceased and 11 others that were injured. And what I can tell you is all the victims were over 20, and they were all adults. And we had 4 that were here that tragically lost their lives. They were out in Ybor having a good time, expecting to go home safely, and a careless, reckless driver takes everybody's lives in his hands and just ended this night in a situation that's never going to be the same for these individuals. You know, at this time, I'd like to have Sergeant Gaskins from Florida Highway Patrol talk a little bit more about what FHP did.
Thank you. Good morning. Again, responding to a request for assistance from our partners with the Tampa Police Department, FHP troopers engaged this driver, a 22-year-old Dade City man. They attempted an unsuccessful pit maneuver. As the vehicle continued into the Ybor City area, my troopers backed off. They disengaged, backed off. And shortly thereafter, we had the crash that you see behind us here. 3 people deceased on the scene, 1 person deceased at the hospital. Florida Highway Patrol is leading with charges of vehicular homicide at this point, with additional felony charges to follow. Our advanced traffic homicide teams, they're doing the investigation. It's going to take a while for them to get all the facts and everything together. But again, the charges, the gentleman that is involved with this is in custody, and we're working with our partners to open up the Ybor City area as soon as possible. Thank you.
And I'd like to thank the Florida Highway Patrol and the State Attorney's Office and also.
Okay. So, man. So they tried to perform a traffic stop with the car that had that didn't veer off onto the highway. And from what the officials here are saying, they tried to do a pit maneuver to disable the car and to prevent this type of thing from happening. And you know, anytime I hear like an avenue or something, I instantly start thinking people, because you know, normally avenues are where, you know, they have either residential or commercial you know, buildings and stuff like that. And man, this is just terrible. This is just real terrible. So they're charging him with I think 4 counts of vehicular homicide. I'm sure there are going to be civil suits, you know, to the guy here for those that are injured. I think they said 11 injured and then 4 deceased. So, man, 22 years old. Not even sure his background, but you know, right now it just looks like he's thrown his life away, really, for, you know, a few seconds of, you know, adrenaline rush with racing and stuff like that. I'm not sure if they're going to, you know, look into like the cameras, the street cameras and highway cameras, to find the other car that was racing to try to hold them accountable for this. I'm not sure how that will work, but I know you know, the guy that was driving who did, you know, do this tragedy here. They definitely should, you know, pursue every bit of the law here, and you know, make sure that justice is served for this senseless tragedy. And man, I can't think of too many words. Kind of left speechless with this one here. Again, to the families of the victims and to all those that are injured, you know, my heart goes out to you. You know, can't bring back the deceased here, but you know, hopefully, you know, you know, you're able to, you know, eventually find some type of normalcy in this, and for those 11 that are still alive, you know, hopefully you're able to make a full recovery. And again, this is just so senseless, man. People out trying to get pizza, drinks, or just, you know, chill with friends, just try to enjoy the start of their weekend, and then something like this happen, which is, like I said, this is uncontrollable. This isn't one of those situations to where I can say, hey, well, you have to be vigilant and stuff like that, because hey, this type of thing just comes out of nowhere, because you're not expecting a high speed car traveling at high speeds to come plowing into you, especially if you're like on the sidewalk, or if you're sitting down at an establishment, you know, trying to enjoy yourself. Man, but like, comment, and subscribe if you're liking this content, if you're enjoying my commentary on these things, my reactions to these events. And I'm going to definitely keep the videos coming. Once again, this is Justin Paul. Peace.